Hi everyone, in today's tutorial, we're going to learn about function in Python and how you can create your own functions in Python. Functions are the most important building block in programming. They can let you write reusable and modular code, which makes your program easier to maintain and debug. So let's dive right in. At first, what is a function? A function is a block of code designed to perform a specific task. Once you define a function, you can use it multiple times without writing the same code. For example, let me visualize this. Imagine a function as a magical machine. You can feed the machine a specific value, and this is the input. Inside the machine, the input undergoes a transformation or calculation based on a set of rules. And after processing the value, the machine produces a new value that is actually output. And it's based on the input and the processing rules. Hope you understand what actually function and how it works. Now it's time to work with Python functions. Okay, so for this, I would like to organize my code inside a folder that is actually Python tutorial. I will open the folder and then we'll have to create a new folder first. And this is the project folder. So let me create a new folder and we'll rename it something like this, Python dash functions. Okay, so this is the project folder. And after creating this folder, we'll have to open it on a code editor. You can use any type of code editor, but for this tutorial actually I would like to use VS Code. So we will just create a new window of VS Code. Then we will have to drag this folder and open it on VS Code. So right now you can see your folder is open on VS Code and this is a folder name. Okay, so this folder has no files because this is the empty folder and we are starting with from scratch. Okay, at first, after creating the folder, you will have to create a Python file. How? I will have to create a new file by clicking here and you will have to rename a file. Okay, so let me define basic underscore functions. Okay, so this is the file name, and after then we will define a extension that is actually .py, and this actually .py define it's a Python file. Okay, let me press an enter. At the beginning, I will show you how you can write the syntax for the Python function. Okay, so to write the syntax of the Python function, at first you will have to define a def key, and this is the reserved keyword for defining a function. And after then you will have to define a function name. So here you will have a function name, then you will have a parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis you can pass parameter, so parameters, and after then you will have a clone, and then to take a new line you will have to press enter. Here you will have your code block. So this is actually code block, or you can keep your logic here or your logic here. Okay, and then you can return a value from here, but it's actually optional. Okay, you can keep it or not, it's actually not mandatory. So this is the basic syntax of a function. I just comment it for now. Okay, I just comment it for you, you can just check it in future. Okay, so after defining it, let me show you the example, and it's a basic example that let you know how you can define a basic function that greets a user. Okay, so let me comment. Here we'll just add a comment, greet a user using a function. Okay, so let me define a function that will actually greet a user. At first we'll have to define a def, and then we will have to define a function name. So that is actually great. Then we will have parenthesis, then we don't keep any parameter here, so we don't pass any parameter, it's actually empty, and then we will have a clone. After then we will have to press enter. Here you will write your logic. Look, here we define your logic here, so you will write your logic here. For example, when we call this function, it's actually print something. So here we'll take print, and then we can say something like this, hello Python developers. Okay, so when you call this function, it's actually execute a new line that is actually hello Python developers. Okay, so when you will have a function, you can call it by using this way. You will have to define something like this, call the function that you defined here at the top. Okay, so how you can call a function? You will have to call this way. You can simply call it by this way. You will have to define greet, then you will directly call it. Without calling the function, it's actually not execute. If you don't call it, it will not execute. Okay, so to run this, actually you can see a play icon. How you can get that play icon? So for this, you will have to go to the extension tab, and here you will search code runner, and after searching it, you can see this extension. Actually you will have to install this extension. This extension will help you to run any type of programming languages. So you can see it supports a large number of programming languages, so we'll use this extension. You will have to just install it, and then after installing it, you will see something like this play icon. And when you will have from here, you will have to choose the debugger for the code, and we'll choose run python file. Okay, you can see hello python developers. When you just press the play button, you can see it's actually executing the line from here, hello python developers. If you edit something like this, hi, then let me delete it and we'll run it again. You can see hi python developers. So you just define a basic functions, and this function actually greet something like hi python developers. Okay, this is the very basic example you have done. Easy, right? So let's take this up a notch and add some parameter to the function. For example, right now we will define a function that actually greet a user, and here we will use parameter. Okay, so for this, let me define a comments here, adding parameters to a function. Okay, we'll learn how to define parameters inside a function. Okay, so for this, here at first we'll have to define the dev keyword, and then we'll have to define the function name. This function will actually greet a user by their name. So for this, we'll have to define greet underscore user, and then we will have a parenthesis. Inside this parenthesis, this actually receive a name of a user. So here we'll define name. This is actually the parameter. It's actually called it parameter. Parameter is used to pass information into a function. After then we'll have a clone. Then let me take a new line by pressing enter, and here you will have a logic. Here you will have print, and then this time actually we'll use dynamic message, so that's why we'll have a f. Then we will have rotation, and inside it we can simply define hello. Then we will have curly braces, and inside it actually we'll pass the name. Okay, so this is the function with a parameter that is actually name. So if you call this function right now, you can see the differences. It actually greet the name. Okay, so call the function. So for this, actually we'll call it so greet user, and then we'll have to pass a name. For example, it's actually Alice. Okay, so now if you run it, so by pressing this play icon, it actually see it's actually greeting Alice. If you just call it again, as I said, function is a reusable code block, so you can just now greet anyone. For example, you can greet me also, greet underscore user, and you can also greet me by writing my name. Okay, so if you run this, you can see at first it will greet Alice, then it will greet Mamun. So this way actually you can define parameter here inside this parenthesis. After then you can use it dynamically by inside curly braces. Okay, I hope you understand this. If you understand this, now our task is how you can use return values inside a function. So for this topic actually we will simply define returning a value from a function. How we can do that? Let me create a function that not only perform a specific task but also give you back a result. Here a simple function to add two numbers and return their value. So let me define dev, and it's actually add underscore numbers. Okay, and we'll pass two parameter, for example a and b. then we'll have a clone, then let me press enter. Here we'll have a logic, we'll actually return the addition of a and b. So a addition sign and then b. So okay, and after doing this, actually if you call this function, it will just produce a addition of a plus b. For example, let me define something like this, call the function. Here we'll call this, so let me copy this, and then we'll pass two value, for example 10 and 20. So if you just add these two value, the result will be something like this 30. But as we define return, we will have to define it in a variable. For example, we will keep the return value inside a variable that is actually result. Okay, so this is actually inside a variable. So this function actually return a value and it will assign to a variable that is actually result. So let me print the result. So here we'll take print, then we will dynamically print it. So that's why if, then we'll have a quotation. Inside this we'll define the sum is actually, then we will have curly braces, and then we'll pass the result. So now if you run it, then you can see something like this. The sum is 30. So if you pass, for example, right now 50 and then here 35 and run your program again, run it, then you can see the sum is actually 85. So this function is absolutely working and it's actually return 85 and it's assigned to the variable result. I hope you understand how you can return a value from a function. So after doing this, actually we will see a real world example. So for just showing you a real world example, let me define a new file. Here we'll create a new file that is actually example.py. So Python, and here let me explain the logic first. Imagine you are building a online shopping app and you want to calculate the price of the item after applying a discount. So here's how you can write the function for that. Okay, at first you will have a dev keyword, then we'll define the name of the function that is actually calculate underscore discount. Okay, here we'll have parenthesis and then a clone. Inside this parenthesis, it's actually received two parameter. One is actually price and one is actually discount. Okay, after doing this, here we will have to write our logic. It's actually calculate the final price. So final underscore price, and then here we'll actually define the logic something like this. We'll have price and then we'll have to reduce the price from the discount value. Okay, so here the logic is we'll have price, then we will multiply it something like this. We'll have a discount and this discount is in percentage, so that's why we will have to divide it by 100. So it's actually, look how this is actually calculating. Okay, for the calculation, let me visualize it. Here, for example, you have a product and the product price is, for example, $100. So this is $100 and you are getting actually 15% discount. So this is your 15% discount. How you calculate it? So for example, you will have to less the price of discount from the original price. So your discount is actually here, your discount is actually 15% of product price. So product price. Okay, so you will receive 15% of product price. That means 15% means 15 divided by hundreds. Okay, 15 divided by hundreds, and you will have to multiply it by the product price. That means actually it's $100. So this is the calculation. You will have to divided 15 by hundreds, so that is actually 15. Okay, your discount is 15 actually. So how it's actually going to work, you will have your product price $100, then you will have to less the discounted price. So here discounted price is actually 15% of your product price. Is actually 100. Okay, that is actually here 100 and the value of this is actually 15. So you will reduce $15 from the original price and it's actually going to be the result. The final price is actually $85. Okay, this is the final results. Okay, now let's check it. So we are defined a function that is actually calculate discount, and you will pass price and discount, then you will get a final price and you will have to return the price. So let me return the final price. So this is our final price. Sorry, final price. Actually, I'm sorry, it's actually final price. Okay, what do you think? Does it work? Okay, let me define it here using this function. Okay, so at first our original price, so original underscore price, so this is the variable, and we will assign hundreds as the product price. Then we'll define discounted rate, discount rate underscore rate, this is the variable. We will define actually 15, and now our discounted price, discounted underscore price, it's actually we'll have to call the function. So let me call this function. After call the function, and you will have to pass this true value. It's actually you will have to pass original price here, original price, then a comma, discounted rate. Okay, discount rate. And after doing this, let me print it. So to print it, actually what you will have to do, you will have to call print. Here we will just print dynamically, so that's why we will have a if then quotation the final price after discount is, and here we'll have something like this. We'll have a dollar sign, this is dollar sign, then we will have curly braces, and here we'll pass this discounted price. Okay, so now time to run the code. So let me press the play icon, and you can see the final discount is this. If you just want to check it again, let me delete it and let me run again. You can see the final product price, the price after discount is this value. This is actually $85. I hope you understand how this calculation is going, and this is all how we can just define everything. Okay,